It is our continuation of the third lecture on capital budgeting technique. Already we have covered first two methods of arriving at the capital budgeting decision. They are payback method and accounting rate of return methods. Both methods are not satisfying all the criteria of rationality, although ARR is considered a little superior to NPV, but still that is an incomplete one. So, we will now consider the methods that are totally rational. That means all of the techniques that we will discuss now will take into consideration time value of money. Among them, the most popular one is net present value method, NPV. So, first let's see what is NPV. Actually, it is a best and rational technique of evaluating a capital project. Like payback method, this method also considers cash flow for taking decision. Gross present value, it will calculate gross present value. Then from gross present value, it will deduct initial investment to get the net present value. Now the question is, what is gross present value? Gross present value is the sum of the cash flows. This point is important. Sum of the cash flows in coming years from the project. So if the machine has 5 years duration, whatever cash flows the machine will generate from operating activities, you have to calculate the present value of that, and you have to add the present value to get the gross present value. Now we know for calculating the present value, we will multiply the cash flow figure of a year by the corresponding discounting factor of that year. This discounting factor indicates the time value of 1 rupee. How it is calculated? We know the formula is 1 by 1 plus I to the power n. I means the discounting rate and n means the year after which this cash flow is generated. So, before moving further, let us discuss a little bit about the discounting rate here. Discounting rate in case of net present value will be considered as the minimum rate of return required by the company for satisfying the investors like shareholders and lenders. So the question is, what is the cutoff rate? That we have already discussed in detail in our previous chapter, which is cost of capital. In cost of capital, we have calculated minimum required rate for each individual source, and then we have calculated average value, which is called weighted average cost of capital, and that WACC is our cut-off rate of minimum required rate that a company must have to earn. So, the discounting rate for calculating present value under net present value method is the cost of WACC, weighted average cost of capital of the company. It is represented by the symbol K. Therefore, discounting factor of NS year is 1 by 1 plus K to the power N. N means the year after which the cash flow is generated. So, in case of cash flow generated at the end of year 1, n will be 1. For year 2, it will be n is equal to 2 and so on. So, this is a basic concept that we are already aware of. Just apply this formula and calculate the present value of the cash flow of each year, then add the present value of cash flows, you will get the gross present value. From gross present value, what you have to do? You have to calculate net present value. It is gross present value minus initial investment. So this is the formula of calculating net present value. So that we have shown here by Z marking. Now, if the net present value calculation, after net present value calculation, you can get three possibilities. Either it can be positive, or it can be zero, or it can be negative. If it is positive, definitely accept the project, because positive net present value will mean that this particular project is providing you a return which is higher than minimum required cost of capital. And if you are getting a return higher than minimum cost of capital, minimum required cost of capital, then definitely the project that you are considering will add some value to the company. And we know that maximization of the value is the objective of a company in modern days. So accept the project which has NPV greater than zero, because it will ensure a return greater than K. Now, after accepting the decision, there can be more than one project existing before you which are accepted. So in that case, obviously the question is which one will you will consider for investment. If you have to consider only one project for investment, which is very common for mutually exclusive project, then you will consider the project with highest NPV. Now the question is, what is mutually exclusive project? Mutually exclusive project means you have to accept only one project. You cannot accept more than one project at the same time. So acceptance of one project will mean automatically the rejection of other projects. Therefore, in ranking decision, highest NPV project will be selected. So based on this concept, now we will move to a problem and we will show how the calculations are made. Basically, the problems that I will consider is a project which has 5 years of life with the following cash flows. In zeroth year, the cash flow is minus 1,500, means initially we are making some cash outflow which we are using for buying the machine. Then the life of the project is in this problem 6 years instead of 5 years as per table. So we are making some correction. Now its life is 6 years. And during these 6 years, your cash inflows are 200, 400, 500, 700, 300, and 600. So if you add the cash inflows figure, then it will be 200 plus 400, 600, plus 500, 1,100, plus 700, 1,800, plus 300, that is 2,100, plus 600 means 2,700. So by investing 1,500, you are getting 2,700. So this is a very high return, which is more than double. But remember, the figures of cash inflow are the future figure where we have not considered the time value. If I consider time value, then these cash flow figures will be much less. So we have to consider the time value. And for calculating time value, we will assume 15% discounting rate. So on the basis of the 15% discounting rate, now we will see how the calculations are made. This one we will continue in our next lecture where we will discuss these calculations in detail along with the the calculation will be detailed along with the Excel formula or advanced Excel formula that we can apply here to solve this problem. So in the next lecture, look for the solutions in detail. That's all for this particular lecture. Thank you.